Dave from the Redneck Garage. Well, we got the bottom end of the engine in, and that was one long video, but I felt like it was important to get everything together on that as far as like putting in the pistons and the bottom end, because that's really one of the most critical parts. Now we're going to be moving along, putting on the top part of the engine, the heads, the lifters, the camshaft, push rods, rocker arms, all that fun stuff. And I thought, because they've sat so long, there's a little bit of rust on them, I'm taking a little bit of time to clean those off. And once I get them clean, I'm going to show you what those look like, and we're going to start reassembly process. But I'm having to take a little bit of time to do that because, you know, I took them off 8 months ago. So I'm going to get going. Holy crap. UPS dropped off this stuff today. And it's seats and carpet, floor mats, I don't know what else, all kinds of crap. Jeez Louise. Got to open it up and see what it is, but got our new seats in. That's super cool. Oh, those are nice looking. Very nice. They're made by Best Top. Awesome. Those are the new seats that I picked out for the front. Those are made by Best Top, and they have vinyl on the sides with a cloth insert. And I thought that kind of gave it a stock look, but with brand new seats. And they are nice looking. So we're going to put them in storage because we're not close to having them ready to go in. But I love those. Those are awesome. All right. Today I'm going to do a little bolt cleaning 101. I've got the bolts here that were on the bell housing, and they got some rust on them just from some moisture they got in my tote. And here they are. And what we're going to do is go ahead and put them in my tumbler. Now, what I did find is that if you use, and this is the theory, that if you use like some kind of safe rust remover, water soluble, evapor rust, and put it in here with your tumbler, it really cleans them up well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to throw them in there, let it tumble for a while, and see what they come out looking like with the evapor rust in the bottom, in with the media. And then you should be able to just rinse them off with water because it's water soluble. So I'm going to try that. Okay, I poured everything in the bucket here. Oh wow, that looks great, doesn't it? Look at that. Perfect. Alright, well, we'll rinse them off, spray a little black paint on the top, and those are ready to go. So here's the valve cover I'm going to be painting with the Wrangler Plus VHT, and we're going to shoot this and see how it comes out. It should look pretty close to factory. It was, all the paint was coming off. It was covered with grease. It took a long time to get this cleaned up as well as it is, and hopefully it's going to look pretty nice when we're done. Here's the end of the first coat. You can still see some like grinding marks and stuff in it. It takes a couple hours for this to really start wrinkling up. So after 5 minutes we're going to shoot another coat on it, and then one more coat after 5 minutes. It's supposed to be 3 heavy coats. It's just letting it take up for a minute, and then we'll shoot it 2 more times with some color, and then overnight it'll wrinkle up like a grandmother on steroids. Okay, so that's 3 coats, and we're going to let it dry, and it should wrinkle up overnight as it starts to dry, and we'll see what it looks like, if it actually does look like a factory type finish or not. This wrinkle finish is good to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, so it should be plenty good for a valve cover on the top. It shouldn't get 500 degrees unless the car catches on fire. So I'm hoping it comes out looking just mighty fine. Alright, so this thing turned out freaking awesome. I let it sit out in the sun today for a little while, make sure it got good and baked. But it looks great. It looks almost factory, you know. It looks just a little bit better. And I polished up the timing cover, and I put a little bit of clear engine paint on it because it needs to withstand the heat. Cleaned that up. Redid the oil pan and cleaned it off. Cleaned out the inside of it because you want to make sure that your oil pan on the inside is spotless. You don't want a bunch of garbage in there. Did the harmonic balancer. Cleaned it up, got all a little rust off of it. And then on all my bolts, I tumbled them. And now they're sitting in just like a light oil solution, WD-40. That's for the flywheel, valve cover, oil pan bolts. Here's the rocker arms. They came out beautiful. They had a little bit of rust on them, and they are spotless. So all of this is ready to install, so we're about ready to start reassembly of the top end. I just had to take about a day or two in between jobs and work to clean all this stuff off, because you don't want to be a jackleg and just throw it on there all rusty and stuff. after all the time I've put into it, you might as well spend a little bit of time cleaning it up, putting a new seal. I got to put a new seal in here, but this stuff looks great, and the motor will look brand new when I'm finished with it. Okay, so after spending a few days getting everything cleaned up, all the bolts ready to go in, and not fighting with that as I go along, I'm much happier as far as getting it assembled. So that's going to be our next videos, is going ahead and getting the bottom end finished up, putting in the cam and the lifters, and also then we're going to start putting in the top end of it, the head and all that stuff. I did buy a new camshaft because I was afraid that possibly, with the way that motor self-destructed, that it may have hurt the cam, and also it had a little bit of rust film on it, and I didn't feel like cleaning it up. You just never know. For $85, I went ahead and bought another cam. Now, all you guys that say I should put a Hemi in it, or a V8 swap, or any of that stuff, you guys are cray-cray. The 2.5 is actually a really durable and reliable motor. I've got one Jeep with it in it, and I haven't had any problems with it. It's got plenty of power, as long as you don't get the gear ratios too big. And if that happens, then I can always swap gears out to a little bit higher gear ratio. Another question that I get asked is, why don't you get a competition cam for the 2.5 liter? Well, to tell you the truth, it's negligible the amount of horsepower and difference you get in the engine by doing a different cam in the 2.5. It's just a small motor. There's not cubic inches. You get 125 horsepower out of it, and that's about it. You can replace the cam in it with one that Crane makes. I think Competition Cams makes another one. However, once you put that in, then you're going to decide, oh, well, it's not giving me that much, so I need to put a different intake on it to get more airflow in. Okay, great, so you put another intake on. Oh, now I need to put another exhaust, maybe put a header on it to get more flow going out the back end. So by the time you're finished with it, you should have just gone ahead and bought a Jeep with a 6-cylinder. This is going to be a stock, just like it came from the factory, 2.5 motor, brand new, so it will have the full 125 horses in it, and I will just be tickled to get it in the frame and underneath the stinking truck so we can move forward from there. I've got to weld the ears on where the motor mounts are, because if you remember back from a few videos ago, when we received the frame, it was a 6-cylinder, and this is a 4-cylinder engine, so I've got to weld those motor mounts on, but that'll be easy to get the engine set in and get the transmission hooked up to it. I've got a new clutch, we've had the flywheel turned, so we're ready to go get this thing put back together. So that's going to be our next videos. I really do appreciate you guys watching and all your comments. The one about the engine swap really made me laugh for a while, because I'm so deep into this. There ain't no way I'm going to do something different than put this 2.5 that I waited for so long to get in. Anyway, next video, we're going to be reassembling the top end of the motor, and that's going to be super cool and exciting, I know. And I appreciate y'all being subscribers. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning the wrenches.